I'm sorry for having a kid. I don't mean that literally, but
Okay, we're live. So this is another podcast. We're gonna do Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power, season 1, episode. Shit, which one are we on? I want to say 7, because there's only one more, right?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
There's only one more? Anyways, watch the podcast if you like listening to people talk about TV shows. That's it. Maybe you don't have friends and you have ideas and questions about we could just fill in.
As Morty from Rick and Morty would say, nobody exists on purpose. What does he do? Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everyone's gonna die.
come and watch TV.
This is how to watch TV.
Live from 9 Mile Studio. My name is Joel Henderson. With me, as always, Jeremy Vasitis and Dre Brown.
Hey.
Hi, Joel.
Jeremy, do your thing.
Yes. Yeah, we are brought to you by Come Up As Network. He plugs all the stuff in and makes it all work.
I make it sometimes. Last week, no dice on
It didn't
audio.
work. You missed us giving him credit for that because the audio wasn't working.
Right.
But anyway, all that aside, yeah, he does a good job for nothing. There's no reward to this.
Yes, there's no monetary
Right,
compensation.
no monetary
Carry on.
compensation. Right. Yeah, that's what I
Get
meant.
to the
Right.
point.
Right. Okay. We're sponsored by that. He's brought to you by that. We're sponsored by 9 Mile Branding, which is my company. I do all the graphic design. You see behind you, print work, car wraps, branding. You need a logo made for your company. I do that.
Dre, you have a company, don't you?
9
Yes, I do,
milebranding.com.
Mr. Joel.
Tell us about it.
AB Cannabis Training out of Chicago. We provide certification in the field of recreational cannabis for the people of Chicago and the state of Illinois as a whole. Listen, I just want you guys to know we got an event coming up. It's called Clouds Cannabis and Cocktails 4. It's October 29th in Cal
I
City.
don't remember an invite to the first 3.
You're not gonna come if you keep stepping on my promo.
I probably wasn't going to go anywhere.
God,
Carry on.
It's a little too dark in there. The guys, listen, go to AB Cannabis.
I adjusted the lighting. Don't just carry on. Don't worry about production values. Or did I just one step above you?
You
Don't
might,
ever.
I don't know.
just one step over
I
you.
do both hands.
Just one
But
step up.
listen. You missing the point. You're stepping on my promo. The guys.
Which was my point.
No, don't stop stepping on my promo.
One's me, and one's him, and then somebody else.
Yeah.
That's great. Sorry. I'm doing it on purpose now.
Come out to Clouds Cannabis and Cocktails for October 29th. AB Cannabis Training. We'll have a booth there. We will be selling fine edibles and pre-rolled marijuana joints.
Where is that located?
This is going to be in Cal City, Illinois. You can get all the pertinent information from abcannabistraining.com or AB Cannabis Training on any social media, be that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I might even pop up on Reddit at some point because apparently that's not going away.
I mean,
And
you could
if
just.
you want to watch any of our other stuff, check it out at howtowatchtv.website. Yes,
get
you
to
have
that
to
site?
actually type the whole thing.
get to that site?
Howtowatchtv.website. We're coming for you, Paul.
forget.
One day we will have the proper website, howtowatch.tv.
How to watch.tv.
But for now, it's howtowatchtv.website because
Who the hell
I'm
is
cheap
Paul?
and we aren't making any money off
cost
it.
us like 9 cents. It was ridiculous.
Who's Paul?
The person who owns howtowatch.tv and
Oh, we whooping his ass.
howtowatchtv.com
Right.
We getting
is
you.
using it for nothing of any value.
Oh, we
It's
get.
a blog.
Come
Like
on.
it's nothing that's been updated.
Come on up off of the name, bro.
Come on, man.
Come on
We're
off
doing
the
a
name, bro.
podcast
You just
here.
insulted his content. Like he's sure
Yeah.
I
he's
said
gonna
it's
come
a
up with-
blog. It's not.
You said it's nothing of any value, is what you said.
That's fair. Yeah. I stand by it.
Right.
Carry on.
I feel like he's
I don't
being
care if we
honest.
never get it. We always got .website to fall back on.
I am not
If
spending
anything
600.
that you want is taken out there, just remember you can get .website.
Look at this property my wife
Feels
just
like
sent
steps backwards in the right direction.
Right? Steps
me. What is
backwards
she
in the
trying
right
to open
direction.
here? Jesus Christ! All right, let's get to the show, man.
This is Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power, Season 1, Episode 7, The Eye.
Did they show an eye on this
Ooh,
episode?
the eye.
It's-
I
it's-
didn't even know
it
that.
started with an eye. Galadriel's in the red smoky haze.
Why you sound annoyed?
He said
Because
that's what was.
that's it.
He said that's what was gonna happen though. In our last episode when we talked about this, Jeremy said it's gonna open up with her like covered in ash and
Well,
all
of
that
course.
stuff.
But there
Well,
was
that's
no, I'm
because
not
it was the
referencing that as
thumbnail on
eye.
Prime Video that,
Oh,
that like soiled
it
that
is.
too. Yeah, because it's been up there for weeks.
Yeah, it was a little dusty.
Listen, man.
So why?
They
So
can't
you're
ship
annoyed.
you-
Why are you annoyed? You sound annoyed.
Because the name of the episode was The Eye.
And it opened up on her eye, and that's why you're annoyed. I'm sorry. I'm not
No,
trying to be a
you're
dick, I'm just
connecting
asking.
those two dots. I was annoyed in general that the episode was called The Eye, and we didn't get anywhere near the eye.
Right.
mean
He's
the
thinking
Eye
about
of Sauron?
Sauron.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
no,
just
that's
opened up
later.
Mordor in the previous episode, and then they're calling this one The Eye. What are my expectations set up?
fair enough.
Joel, you
Go on.
cannot expect the
I didn't want it, but
you
they
cannot
called it The
expect
Eye.
the Amazon Corporation to provide you with cheap products at reasonable shipping rate. And make TV shows that make sense all the time.
I'm just saying, why did you
let's
call
cut
it The
Amazon a
Eye?
break.
Is there something else that happened with an eye in this episode?
No,
that
I
I'm
can't.
not
Like it was
remembering?
like you. Well, no. Well, you're saying it, and this is the first I'm hearing of it being called the Eye. So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything.
There was
right off
nothing
the
in
top
this
of my head.
episode that was exciting, and I was no. I just
Like
want
at all?
I want to
Like-
start from the beginning because before we even went on air,
Right.
I was just telling Joe I was sitting here trying to remember what happened. I know everything that happened in the episode, but there was nothing very memorable. I remember two things that I liked about it.
So like the
But that was it.
opposite of the Game of Thrones formula, with the penultimate episode being like a kicker.
Right.
Yeah, so they're like, oh no, we're just gonna move it back
Yeah,
2 episodes.
Now, to be
Tinny?
fair, lots of
Yeah, yeah.
people are dead, and it looks like a bomb went off. Did anybody else notice the dead guy that Isildur looked at under the cart looked a lot like Samwise? Like, I don't know. It was weird to
It
me.
was actually Bob from Stranger Things.
Right.
Jesse agreed with you. She said she was Jesse. Welcome back to the chat to the Lord of the Rings. She was annoyed at the
Oh,
title.
yeah, I need to turn my chat
She's
on.
like, I was
Right?
annoyed. Yeah.
Because it was like,
They
oh,
could have
cool.
they could have laid a title to anything else.
Yeah, literally anything
no,
else.
like those words, anything else.
Yeah.
It would- like,
Yep.
No, the Eye. Like I can't put together a reason why it would have been called that.
Right.
Unless it's the Eye of the Storm. No, that's lame. That doesn't work for me.
Like, yeah, like
too
the
far-fetched.
eye of
Maybe
the storm
maybe
of
the group of people
Mordor.
that's looking for the wizard
No,
guy
I don't like
called the Eye or something.
I don't know. He's called the Stranger.
Right, the Stranger.
Okay.
But maybe those people have a name for the organization, like the Foot Clan or something. Maybe they're the Eye.
The organization.
Yeah. You never know.
I was excited to see the Harfoots again.
Jesse, we don't want to get rid of
We
it.
had nothing
Stay
from
with us.
them for
Please.
the whole last episode. They were not in it. That whole
I hope
storyline
they
was
all
just-
die soon. I don't like them.
But they're clearly the predecessor to the Hobbits.
That's
So,
fine.
so in my mind, they need to go through some shit in order to deserve the Shire ending.
Do you think this is the only
peaceful-
group of these people?
No.
It
I
can't
think
be,
it's.
right?
I think that there's a reason they're showing us them, and it's not to wipe them
Right,
all
this-
out.
I shouldn't have said I hope they all die. What I meant to
said that.
say is
I
I hope
missed
they.
that.
Well, yeah, I did. I said I hope they all
said
die.
that.
All the Harfoots?
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
What
I'm
the
saying
hell is the matter with
I
you?
want to get that story part over. I don't care. I don't think they add much to the show.
What?
Like I told you in the last episode.
He just bloomed. He just
told
bloomed
you-
a whole
I
forest for
told-
them.
That's my point. What
Right,
I said in the
but-
last episode, they're
To me, that's
there
the
as
avenue.
a storytelling
avenue.
of device for the
She's
Gandalf
the
character.
Frodo stand-in, dude.
Yeah, but I don't care
It
about
is what it
these
is.
I
people.
kind of
I
like
don't-
her more at
okay.
this point. Like I'm enjoying
fine.
her
Well,
She's a better
character
character
more
than Frodo.
That's
But
okay,
not hard
fine.
to
But I'm
beat.
saying that that's who she is. The Frodo Bilbo stand-in.
Yeah, she's the
Now-
first that he's growing fond of.
I
and
just
will
want to see. I
eventually
want to
have an
see.
attachment to.
I want to see them get enough trauma, as Joel says, that they decide that being migrants aren't.
Yeah, their village
is
burned
not-
down in this.
and that
The
they're
thing
gonna
is,
settle
I have
down.
you have to like watching these two shows at the same time is kind of interesting, in a way, because
We're talking
Game-
also House of the Dragon.
also House of the Dragon. Sorry, yes.
So if you've not seen that,
So
spoiler.
no, I'm not going to talk spoilers. I just wanted to say like it's Game of Thrones is such a universe that we understand that anybody could bite it at any moment.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the kind of show that we've come accustomed to. Like so when you come over to the same genre, high fantasy, and you're in the same ballpark, you like Game of Thrones was so popular and it went for so long that it
We rewired our brains.
Yeah, to think that way. This is not Tolkien didn't write that kind of universe. People didn't just die willy nilly.
Yeah, well, like I said,
all the time.
I step back from the whole death thing. I just kind of don't want them to focus the story on them. Like for me, here's what's more interesting to me. And I'm skipping ahead a little bit only because we pressed for time.
You are.
I want to see them. I want to see them be of some significance to the world before anybody knows they were of significance.
I just mean
cool.
when
I
he
like
walked
that.
away.
Huh?
I mean when he walked away.
When who walked
I would,
away?
The stranger. When he walked away eventually, I would have liked to see him start his journey more than I would have liked to see them sitting around after he left.
I think it's
That's all
going to
I'm saying.
eventually
It's like,
come back together because he's going to have to save them from the
oh yeah,
white
he
people.
definitely gonna do something.
Got to save them from the white people that are coming in and burning down
Are they
homes.
white peoples though?
They're dressed in white.
Yeah, they all
wear white
They Targaryens. They're all Targaryens.
Targaryens.
They're the clan of this.
He did do some firebending, so they might be Targaryens.
Firebending.
One of them said volcanoes are only awaken when new evil is rising.
Yeah,
That's some nonsense. Right?
that's just
when the
Wait, no, okay, that's nonsense in our understanding of science
thought
and
that's
the
what they
world
was
around
leaning
us.
towards.
This is a fantasy world. This isn't Earth.
I feel you, but I felt like I felt like that's the way they played it. It was like this
Well,
is
and
just an
that's-
old
this
wives'
is like-
tale.
Things like
type
that
of-
are like when you go back to like even like our world itself. Like people back in the day believed volcanoes, things like that about volcanoes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like around those,
and that's what I'm
around
saying.
that-
I
It
feel
was
like,
almost won and lost.
but that's
like
what I'm
that.
saying. I feel like they was saying that in the same context,
Right.
basically saying that people believe in those type of fables and stuff in this world too.
Well, he almost says it kind of like says that kind of stuff like that. Like he was
Right.
just like, I've heard of people turning into stars. I've never
Right.
heard of them falling from. Like he says it like, yeah, I've read that somewhere. But
Right.
so where do you think their connection to that outside world is then? There has to be something for him to be getting those like stories
They
from
talking
somewhere,
to
right?
he's communicating with somebody on the outside, unless they all just making it up.
Listening to hunters while they like how they were
Yeah.
hiding from those guys with the big antlers at the beginning.
Yeah.
So they can hear those conversations and get those stories and pieces of them from those like little adventures. There you go. I just did that.
Right,
I
that
don't
makes
watch
sense.
TV. How you like
Right,
that?
see, there you go.
This is
Elrond pleads for the Mithril. Then they say the fate of the elves was decided long ago. Can anybody elaborate on that?
That was another one of those off the cuff remarks where he was just basically saying like their fate was decided. This
because
is how
of
the
their
gods.
choices over time.
Yeah,
and
he's
like,
just basically saying this is how the gods designed everything. Those people is gonna die eventually, and we gonna have to go through what we go through eventually. So it is what it
I
is.
just wasn't quite understanding what he meant there. I didn't know
When
if
he
there was
said
something.
for minds that are they're older and farther seeing than ours, he's talking about like the Valar, like the gods. I think right? That was a reference to like the people that created them.
And I do. That's what I liked. Thank you. You got me where I
See,
was
we'll
trying to
get
go.
there. I got notes.
He was right. It was one of those situations. Well, I won't say it yet because I don't want to skip ahead in the discussion. But I like that the king in that moment was speaking from a far more wise position where he was like, sometimes you just gotta let shit be what it is. He was almost. It was almost what a king of the elves told Galadriel, the evil that you're running from.
You might be
Well,
creating it.
you're gonna create it yourself. He's saying, look, you trying to save them. You're gonna find yourself, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna make the situation worse. You can't change the fate. You can't change what the gods put in place. Their fate was already
Love that
decided.
being, like the theme of the
Leave it.
show.
You know what I'm saying? He was basically like, leave it.
The evil you're chasing, you're going to end up
Right.
perpetuating it.
That's
by
Exactly.
why, to me, it makes so much sense if what's
the
his name-
Halbrand whole thing we've discussed with him being Sauron and manipulating her and leading her into giving him what he wants or needs, or just doing it just out of cruelness because I'm just gonna fuck with her because I can,
Right.
because I'm a master at this game. Like
This
what-
game-
like
this
Dave
Game of
Chappelle said,
Thrones.
I got a fishbowl of punchlines at my front door.
I told you, I'm fucking dope, baby.
Yeah, I told you.
The king dwarf says no dice. And then instead of saying goodbye, they say go towards goodness. Like, that seems like kind of a cop-out for, like, we'll see each other later. Like, see you later. Like, that seems to work, right?
Yeah, it's vague enough to be like, nah. He said see you later. So does that mean how much later? Like, there's none of that. Go towards goodness means like,
Yeah, dumb.
Go your own way.
That's one dumb for this episode. Mithril heals a leaf. Like it brought that leaf back to life.
I'm having a hard time discussing that part without spoiling the end of the episode,
Right.
so I don't want to say nothing.
Theo's an idiot. He thinks everyone is dead. Just in general, my thoughts there.
You don't like the character, or you just think he's just a dumb kid?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. He's just
I don't know, man.
He's a
Like,
throw.
instantly
Listen,
assumes everybody's dead, and like, come on.
he's a throwaway character, but also at the same
He's
time,
he's Arondir's son. Like, come on, man. They have to be doing that.
I mean, but he's like a kid. though.
I think the title, or the not title, the tell for that to me is the ears, the hair covering up his ears.
Yeah.
Who pointed that out? Was it you or you? You pointed it.
Yeah.
Like his hair. His
It's
hair.
He's the only one in Middle Earth with a bowl cut.
Every time he's on screen.
Earmuffs. That's when you let your hair grow all out after shaving it.
Every time he's on screen,
His ears are covered.
I'm sitting here. I was watching the whole episode. I'm like, because you said that last week, so I was this whole episode. I'm like,
like trying to
watching,
peek and
I'm
spy
showing
his
nothing.
ears.
They don't show anything. Like it's and that makes me and see like that's where sometimes this like highly analytical thing. Like you wish you could be dumb sometimes
Yeah, just
and like
oh, I
and
never
be
saw that coming.
surprised like almost referencing kind of the end of the episode where they literally spelled something out for you.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh come on,
Dumb.
like, I didn't need that.
No, I did not need that.
I'm
I
curious.
agree.
Let me ask you a question, fellas. Do you feel like the showrunners and writers, now we already discussed that they're not working with
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
but it's still based on the same books. So, do you feel like the showrunners don't think that they would have had an audience who are fans of the movies?
See, that's where no,
Just
but my
I'm not sure I understand the question.
I'm
Say
only
that
asking
again?
because I'm saying, do you feel like the showrunners feel like that the audience that they would amass, like in production, because obviously they're not making this shit as they're airing it. I'm saying in production of this show, do you think the showrunners was like, let's have a fake out, and the audience is gonna think something here because
what you're
they've
saying.
never seen the Lord of the Rings.
Your question is basically,
Because a
do they
sealed
assume
door-
people have seen Lord of the Rings or
Right?
not?
It's like, wouldn't you assume that
See,
everybody?
to me, that's where I like so how far are we from that? Because I don't want to like discuss
what?
it like the end because
I-
I keep
oh, we're
I
a
don't
bit-
even want to go to the end. I'm talking about the part where they thought Isildur was dead.
Yeah,
That's
well, that's-
literally the next thing. Is Isildur's
Okay, go
presumed
ahead.
dead.
So
What
go ahead.
happened
I'll
next?
make my
Only
point later on
because
when
you
we get
said
to
the thing about the kids saying everybody was dead, and that's the first thing that popped in my head was why not the characters? I get it, the characters. They should think this. They're inside the world. You know what I'm saying?
Trust
But
your audience
as
are the
the
words
show-
that came
that's
to my mind.
Exactly. Why would the showrunners think that this was a good idea when we know he can't die?
Fake it out with Arondir. Fake it out with one of the
Yeah, do
characters that we
somebody
don't really
else.
know their fate.
Right.
There you
Bronwyn,
go.
like they did. We don't know that. Like, yeah, Isildur
I
is.
thought she was
he's
gonna
got-
die. Exactly.
He's got the
That's a good
heaviest
fake out.
plot armor that there can be.
Right. And that's what
know?
I'm saying. That was my whole point. I thought that
You
chick
can't-
was
that's
dead
one
when
of the-
she got shot with the
But
arrow.
maybe they are assuming that people have not watched Lord
and
of the Rings.
that was my
So there's-
question.
But it's
So-
called the Lord of the Rings, the
See,
Rings
that's the
of
thing
Power.
that's the thing that bothers me. Is like don't like see to me you can't make the show from like oh let's try to bring in like this
a
new,
new audience.
audience.
Yeah, like this is one of the
I mean,
most
like,
famous movie trilogies of
Like
all
honestly,
time.
like you have to like
There's
trust. You
two
have to trust
trilogies.
your audience. Like yeah, like
No,
for the
there's only
Isildur thing was like yeah okay like what are they doing? The only thing I can think of is they're setting it up to where they can repeat the
the Aragorn thing.
Aragorn thing from Lord of the Rings when his horse finds him and brings him back
When they
to the
thought he
thing.
fell off
They're
the
going to do the
cliff
same
and
thing. The
died.
horse ran off. The horse is going to go find Isildur and
Right.
bring him back to the camp or whatever right before they leave, or he's going to be separate. I don't know. Somehow, some way, the horse is going to save him, just like Brago saved Aragorn back in the day.
Good
so,
name call. I would not have remembered the horse.
I literally just rewatched those movies a few weeks ago, so like I'm not gonna like be like, oh yeah, it's a steel trap, of all this knowledge. No, I've been watching a shit ton of this stuff lately.
Despite a bunch of characters being missing at this point in the episode, I was like, it's kind of convenient. Hellbrand's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
obviously he showed up
Ah, he was
later.
so great. Everybody gets one.
But I was just like,
Yeah, but oh god, hell,
So Galadriel trains Theo, and Theo takes Isildur's identity to probe. Wait, what?
What? Is this a?
This is a note that I wrote down, and I'm just trying to figure out what I meant by it. Galadriel trains Theo, and Theo takes Isildur's identity to probe. To prove to Grey Elf he is his son. Wait, what the fuck am I talking about here? I don't know what I meant. I may have been falling asleep while I was writing that note. Like I genuinely, I'm trying to
auto corrected a word in there that you
probe from prove to Grey Elf.
He was
he's his
sitting around
son.
smoking with the Harfoots.
right smoking the halfling's leaf.
Okay, so I know this note is accurate. The queen is blind. Like, so did she lose her eye to Sauron?
That
or
was
di-
the
or
second
is it
thing
just
that I
smoke
liked about the
blindness?
episode, because I remember calling Jeremy and talking about
I think
how
they
I
like. I think they
enjoyed
showed
the
her
reveal
get
of that.
hit in the face during that
When that
struggle with
thing
the seal of
collapsed.
door. Yeah, when the thing
when the
collapsed.
thing collapsed.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I thought that was dope because
So is this a permanent thing? You think?
I think so.
Really?
It doesn't show outward physical damage to her eyes, but I think it's gonna be a thing where moving forward, it's gonna give a character enough wrinkles where she's a little bit more interesting. I would hate for her to get her sight back and go back to being a character I don't care about.
No, it feels like that's
Like, I'm being honest with you, I don't-
like even like if she like beginning of next season she's like, oh, I can see again. It's like, that's
Right.
kind of cheap. Yeah, keep
Like,
her
be blind.
Be blind.
Because right when they showed that she was blind, and the fact that she was aware enough to say, okay, you know I'm blind, but we can't let them know I'm blind. To me, that was like, okay, it's a little more to this character, and
But
it
I
made
think
her a
she
little more
assumed it was
interesting.
She was-
temporary at that point. Like,
Was
don't
she
tell
in-
anybody just yet.
Yeah, she
Is she
could
from
have.
Spartacus? Is she in Spartacus?
I can't remember Spartacus at this point.
Okay.
I only remember one character from Spartacus, and that was Spartacus, I guess. It's been so long since I watched that show.
Okay, go on.
So they said in here that the Harfoot ancestors lived in parts unknown years ago, but could see the stranger's stars. The Shire? Maybe?
You want to get to the Shire so
No,
bad.
I'm just
You like-
interested in what is going on with them. So I'm trying to connect
because
it to
they
anything.
stupid as hell. These are I won't. How would I say this? These are people who believe in fantasy and things of that nature. You can see the stranger stars. What I'm saying is, I know it's a
Inside of
fantasy
this
world,
fantasy
but in
world.
the fantasy world, these are people who are
Who believe in the stuff
believe
that
in
is true?
fantasy types. Well, it's true that everybody can see the stars. That's my point. It's such a dumb point to make
I
about
think they were
the
meaning
characters.
geographically where they were. They could see the stars.
Yeah, but they're saying the stranger
the
stars
stranger
is what I'm
stars. Maybe
saying.
he thinks like the constellations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so
It's like
then
maybe they couldn't see that constellation other than where they used to live, which was in parts unknown. I just thought that was kind of interesting that they were hinting, alluding towards somewhere else
It's
that they.
so funny that he thinks
were
that's because
from.
that's like I'm definitely
I'm
I
super
want to
interested
I'm
in
super
that.
interested. I want to see the stranger and the Harfoot stuff play
Yeah.
out.
I want to see the stranger stuff play out.
Yeah.
Because again, as I wrote here, the Harfoot are going to have to do
it's
some
hand in
some
hand
shit
right now,
for
man.
Hobbit kind to need a new name,
about
but
that.
also to live peaceful lives for the most part.
I think they're gonna
They're
have
going
to.
to have to go through some shit to where they have to erase their identity, and now we're hobbits.
Right. So Jesse agreed back, taking a couple steps back with the Isildur. Who do they think they are, like trying to fake us out with the Isildur's death? So not to go back. So repeat what you just said, so we can go back.
But yeah, he's saying like the Harfoots are going to go through something, and like
They
I
have
said,
to because they have to not exist in the future.
I think that
They have to rebrand as the hobbits at some point.
See, I think
it's like
this is
they
just
have to
this-
have gone through
it's-
some
the
shit to earn
hobbits
that.
were still in hiding in the Lord of the Rings. It's not about a branding so much as it is about a changing in culture. Their culture currently is a migrant culture where
Right.
they keep going back and forth. I
Migrating.
think that they're going to get to
Okay,
a
so
point
Harfoot
where-
because they're moving on their feet all
Right.
the time,
I think
whereas
they're gonna get to a
Hobbit,
point-
that implies kind of somebody. No, that's Hermit, isn't it?
To
Never
me-
mind.
to
Well, that's
me-
cool. But I just think they're going to
Well,
go through
Hobbit,
something
like,
that's
see,
going to
like,
make
I
them
would-
say that
I
we don't
would-
have to keep moving.
Does Hobbit imply stationary?
To me, that's like yes, Hobbit hole. Like you, like a herb.
that's
to
kinda
me,
what
to
I'm
me, like
thinking then.
like
Okay,
if
that
you
makes
if you were to
sense.
say that to me in
Thank you,
that
Nikki
context,
Cunningham.
in that context, I would definitely.
What'd you say?
She,
I'm sorry, I didn't want to step on Jeremy. I just wanted to say thank you first, but go ahead, finish your point. I'll
yeah,
read it.
I would say like the Hobbit would mean the same thing to me. Hermit, you stay in one place, you never want to
Okay,
leave.
so they
You're-
changed their own
you're-
name
you're-
potentially at some point.
Well, it's either that or it's this thing like where like Gandalf isn't Gandalf, but he's only known as Gandalf by this certain group of people.
Right.
So I think it's something like that, where you're going to see them named by someone else, names them hobbits or calls them hobbits.
I see what you mean there.
Or like
I wasn't following it.
he's like,
That
oh, they
makes
used to be
sense.
called hardfoots, hobbits, like something like that. Where like,
And then
hobbits,
they get
hobbits, that's it.
rebranded.
Yeah, and they get called. I mean, something like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, and you thinking of from a branded perspective, I mean, it's just a name at that point. But no, Nikki Cunningham was saying that is it Arda flat at this point? Why would the stars be different depending on where you are? That was the point I was making.
Isn't what flat?
Arda.
Is the world?
Is
The
that where
world,
they're at?
yeah.
That's the name of the planet.
Yeah.
per se.
So if it's flat, the stars will be the same. That's why that was the point that I was making. It was just that's more leaning towards characterization of the people, not. It's a characterization saying these are the type of people.
So if it's flat, is it spinning like on a disc? So it's not. So we're just kind of negating all of science when you talk about it's a flat thing.
Even if it was spinning, whatever it is, everybody would see the same.
So
sky
Middle Earth
at
buys into
all
the
times.
flat Earth.
So this is the first flat Earth theory.
So it's like Asgard.
Could be like Asgard. It could be like
When
the
you see the visualization,
It could be like the
Asgard's like a
giant.
round
It could be like the
planet.
giant tortoise with the world on his back theory that people used to have. And then she also says Harfoot's stewards and Falahides mix into what we know as hobbits. So basically, a whole
they're going
bunch
to
of
blend with another group.
a
at
whole
some
bunch
point.
of small
That
people.
makes sense.
A whole bunch of small people just get together
with similar physical
and look
characteristics.
and
Now,
realistically.
she sounds like she knows some stuff. So if you know spoilers, please don't tell us spoilers. But
Right.
that,
But
that
welcome
is
to the
very
chat,
interesting.
Nikki, and
Yes.
welcome to the podcast.
But I
for
want to say
joining
this
us.
about what Nikki just said in the chat, though. I think I'm gonna get what I'm asking for. I don't think we have to see them too much more, unless they just want to do a periodic check-in. I think that the place that they are is gonna be the Shire. I think because of what happens towards the end of this episode, the forestation, the whole migrant herd,
Them getting rid
They-
of the
they don't
fact
have.
that
I
they
don't
can't
think
do it
they'll
now.
have to even do any of that anymore. It's like, oh look, we right here. We gonna settle
Like
in
he
right
made
here.
this land plentiful for
Right, we can eat off of
the
this land, and we
foreseeable
don't have
future.
to go anywhere
They don't
else.
have to be migrants.
The only
anymore. So
thing
you
left-
might even just saw the creation of the Shire. is
Right.
basically what
But
he's
didn't
saying.
they burn it down?
No, they burned down their wagons and
it.
shit. And this is
No,
where,
the meteors from the volcano hit where they were, the grove where they were going. They
Right.
called it
Right.
the grove. It hit that and it burned
But
some of the
the
trees.
I'm just
people-
saying,
the
by the
people in
end of the
white,
episode,
they
it was all
burned down
burned
it.
again.
But no, they burned their
carts.
carts.
And
what
they
I'm-
just happened to conveniently not be parked near any trees that could burn.
no.
like-
Okay,
because
I mean, I
what
didn't
I'm
see any
saying
trees
is
burning. It looked like it was all specifically
Okay.
their
they,
carts
they,
at the
he
end.
spe- he, they burned the carts, but what I'm saying is that opens the door to bring the
that to be
stranger
it?
and also for the stranger to come back
Right.
and do the thing that I want to happen, which is move the stranger's story forward. We could have him come back.
Do you think that we get the
Get rid of them
or the reveal of who he is by the end of the season, or do we carry
We
that?
got one more
mystery?
episode.
No.
We carry that mystery forward into
I
the
think
next
so.
going season.
No, I
going forward?
don't think they. I don't think they smart enough.
I mean, even like the old
keep us up.
Lauren.
I
See
think-
now,
I
after
think
the
he'll
end
be
of this
Gandalf
episode,
next week.
I kind of lost a little bit of faith in that. Like,
I
they
think he'll be
not, they
Gandalf
don't-
Friday.
They're not going to trust us enough to not throw that in our face like that.
He's gonna be
That
Gandalf
could be
Friday.
at the end of the season reveal potentially.
That's just what I'm
But
saying.
I
like,
don't think it makes sense in the story.
They're gonna
yet.
do it like Jeremy said. He don't like the thing. The title gonna
It's
pop
going
up.
to
It's
come
gonna
up.
be like
It's going
the
to write it across.
stranger
They're going to literally spell it out.
Gandalf.
The stranger
The
disappears.
stranger
Gandalf.
Gandalf.
It was I don't know. Go on to your next point.
Galadriel lost her brother and husband to the war. She tries to convince Theo to let it go.
The husband is not dead.
I'm just saying that's what she said to him.
She hasn't seen him. She's assuming he's dead.
Right.
I don't think so because he's definitely later on in the story. You meet him in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh, okay. I don't. The orcs made it harder to smell people by burning everything. Like I just thought that was kind of funny. Like they're sitting there like, just smell ashes, and it's like, you dumbass, you just made it so that
Right.
everybody can hide out a little more undetected here.
Yeah, but they can move around during the day, which is a
Yeah, and he's like,
Nice.
she goes, let's move at first light. He's like, what light? What? There's no light.
they'll name him with a font change.
Yeah, I thought
come
that
on.
was funny.
Like seriously.
We
I want
find
to
out-
like trash it so bad by the
Right.
time we get
We're-
to the end.
we're
of it.
almost
I'm
there.
there. Like,
We want Gandalf. Hey, let's be clear.
we want it to be.
We want that to be Gandalf,
Yeah.
and we want them to reveal it. I think you want it to drag out a little bit, just like you want Halbrand to be Halbrand to be dragged out as his reveal as Sauron to be
that
dragged
has-
out a little more.
that
But I
has to
feel
be
like they don't
something
have.
we, like,
I don't
drag
feel like
out.
they have it in them to even risk losing your audience. They need to give you a character that was really popular. So either you give us Sauron this season,
But
or
we
you
just
give us
got
Gandalf.
Mordor being created. Is
That's
that
not a character
enough?
that's popular. Like we have
I mean, like,
Galadriel.
No.
Galadriel was like a
You
side
lit the
character
mountain
in the
where
films.
the ring will be forged.
We do
I
have
thought
Elrond,
that was cool.
but he was
like,
also
the whole
a side
content of
character
that
in the
happening.
movies.
Question.
I just don't like. I already knew that. Go ahead.
Are we getting anywhere closer to the forging of the rings? Like, is that
Yeah.
tower being
That's
built?
what your boy on his way to.
Who?
Yeah,
Halbrand at the end of this
is going to
episode.
take place over like some time, but yes, we're getting.
But I mean, we haven't gotten any update on the tower being built, the forge.
Yeah, they was on a side quest trying to get some help from
We
the
should
dwarves.
get some sort of update on that, and Galadriel and Galadriel and Halbrand. I didn't even do that on purpose. Like, honestly, Galadriel and Halbrand will end up in Eregion and
and
meet up with
Is that where the
Elrond
tower is
and
being?
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor.
And once
once
your boy
that's-
gets in Celebrimbor's ear, is pretty much it's all downhill from
He's a
that.
smith. He's gonna, like, if he starts feeding him some BS, like, hey man, you're thinking about making something powerful. Like, here, these rings. Like,
Yeah.
if he starts feeding him some in his ear, it's just more clues. And
Right.
again, like, keep going, because I got like a lot of this is gonna come out by the end.
Elrond lost on purpose to Durin.
Yeah, those are fun scenes.
I thought he was about to tell him his dwarf secret name because he's like, it's only for family.
Yeah, and then they just clip that off.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a branch we're not gonna come back to.
They
this
break
episode.
through the wall into the mithril mine and they just look down and just see a shitload of it.
Right, like in the Lord of the Rings when they're going through the mines of Moria,
And
he,
then-
like, he looks down and you see it, just gobs of it.
Right. And then the king breaks up the mithril mining party. Durin kind of tells his dad off and then loses his neck piece.
He took his
Yeah.
record label chain, kicked
Yeah.
him off the record label.
Yeah, he's
Told me he
No
can't.
more
he not-
albums
He
for
not
you.
dropping his
No
next
longer
album. He gonna have to go
Part
independent.
of Death Row Records.
Right. He got to go independent at this point.
So as we discussed, the stranger brought back to life the trees, and we see
Could have
that.
said mountain music, but that would have sounded really country.
It would have worked though.
Mountain Music Records.
And we
big
saw
ass
that,
chain.
Cut
that
that out, Joel. Fix that joke. For
we
me.
saw that big ass footprint from the people in white, and then the white people burned the town down.
Why do white people always want to burn down people's towns when they just trying to live?
I don't know. Why they gotta oppress the little people like the Harfoot?
Leave the Hardfoots alone, man. They just want to eat some fruit.
Yeah, so in that scene, if you go back and watch it, it looks like all the carts specifically catch fire.
No, they definitely.
I agree. I was
the
just
cart.
saying, like none of the trees caught on fire. Come on.
It's magic fire, Joel.
Oh,
I knew it could. I just.
oh God.
Magic's gonna explain this away. Come on, she's just like,
3-month ride.
she blew out a smoke.
Nikki
monster
says
that ended up being a-
Eregion is a 3-month ride from Mordor.
So that's what I'm saying. We're gonna see.
So
that.
he gonna have some time to get a little more snake tonguish. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Theo sees the horror after the battle.
So you are a
And has a
Lord
little
of the
family
Rings
reunion.
aficionado. I'm taking it, Nikki.
That's what I'm saying. Like I imagine that.
Like, if you
she's
know how
gonna
long
know
the
stuff.
ride is from one point to another on this map, that you are definitely know
Right.
more than we do. So feel free, like he
But-
said, just
but-
save for spoilers. No spoilers.
Anything that might be in this story, please don't
Right,
tell us if
but,
you
like,
know it for
yeah,
a fact.
I mean, like you're like.
I don't want to know
please-
who dies where.
Please join us every week and correct us on our
Yes,
stuff.
we were happy
And-
to
or
have
go back and
somebody
watch-
telling us we're idiots.
Yeah, this
Okay,
is
so
great. It's
should
good
I
to
do
have
it
you.
now?
Do what now?
Click that like and share and follow.
Right.
Nasty.
I don't know what was a bigger eye roll,
feels
magic or that.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
We
No,
get a
come
little
on.
what I consider
That was magic.
what I consider a family reunion here, where he runs into Bronwyn and then Arondir. Like, come on.
That's a whole moist
Would
family.
you
I don't
not
even
agree
want to
with
see them.
that?
I don't care nothing about. Yeah, he's his kid, but I don't care about them. I'm a weirdo. I
What
know
do you care about in this show?
that I care about when I'm gonna see Sauron and when I'm gonna see Gandalf.
Buy in for the long ride.
Why are you in?
I'm
why are you
watching-
I don't
in
want
for
all that right
Sauron?
away.
I'm watching it because it's interesting.
I want this. I
I'm
want
enjoying
Halbrand
it.
to be such a character that we're like, you know what? Maybe he's not Sauron, and then they hit us with it. You know what I mean? Like that. I want it to be that good.
They've painted the picture with such broad strokes at this point. It's like it's almost impossible not to see it. It's like, I'm literally watching this guy do impossible shit and keep implying he has some kind of dark past. It's like, bro, you Sauron, just go and do your thing.
Well, I like the comment from last episode where he was like, "You don't know what he did," like talking about Adar.
So just sidebar.
Sidebar. Go ahead.
Big Al's in for Dungeons and Dragons whenever that happens.
Oh,
Thank you,
okay,
Jesse.
great.
I appreciate it.
Galadriel tries to apologize for bringing the Queen and Elendil to Middle Earth.
Yeah.
You know, when they were getting ready to leave.
Yeah, but it's like, no, save your apology.
The Queen seemed to be declaring war. Like,
Yeah.
Norm,
Thank you,
Numenor
Jesse.
Like, she
will
tough.
return.
Fantastic.
What'd she
Appreciate
say?
it. She just said she shared our podcast. She's trying to get us more audience members.
That was
We
Jesse.
appreciate it.
And like,
was
if,
Jesse.
you've been doing that the past couple of days, Jesse, or the past couple of episodes, you've managed to bring in a
we got-
new person each time.
yeah,
Like,
we
so
got
that's,
two
it's
more
great. Keep it
people.
up. We appreciate it.
But
Jesse,
no,
very much.
listen,
Thank
but
you.
listen.
Thank you for sticking around with us for we're approaching 50 episodes. She's
Right.
been with us almost the whole way. It's awesome.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, to hell with her apology. None
I
of
thought
it.
he was
going
to say to hell with Jesse here.
No, why would I say that?
To hell with her.
To hell with her apology. It's nothing about that meant anything in that moment. And her declaring war, we already know it. Your whole sometimes that's the problem of knowing certain shit about the future of the, like character.
Yeah.
Like your whole
This is the same
kingdom
problem
is
we have with
gonna
House of the
disappear.
Dragon.
Well,
Well, not to,
With Game
to
of
the
Thrones?
degree. Well, not to the degree where.
I didn't know any of this, and I shouldn't know any of it. But like I said, the Lord of the show dropped, and like I if there was a pool that was like 3 feet deep, I'd have just dove headfirst into the
Yeah.
cement ground, into the lore. And yeah, I did probably spoil a couple things.
I was
for
trying to figure
myself.
out, because they said it's thousands of years after the Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, wait a minute though, Isildur does that in and I was like, oh yeah, that happened at the beginning of the Third Age or whatever, end of the Second Age, and then we did a time jump of thousands of years to the Hobbits. Like I'm trying to figure out how they're saying that it's thousands of years before the Lord of the Rings when we saw something that's clearly like
Jeremy.
less than 80 years away.
I'm out.
You gotta leave.
I gotta use the bathroom.
don't need that.
I gotta use the bathroom for a week. I'll be back.
Ray will be back
Coming
next week.
back next week.
I'll be back next week.
I won't be
Sorry,
here
I missed the
until
joke.
I
My
won't be
bad.
back
That's my
till
bad.
Thursday next week. I'm going on my honeymoon.
Oh shit, Joe, go get a little bit of.
Okay, well let's just switch to the. Oh wait, that's
even
me and
grosser
Dre, me
than
and
smash
Jeremy.
that like
No,
button.
that's wrong. There we are. There we are.
No, wait. My boy having relations. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, Dre has been axed from the podcast.
Put my picture back up one more
Next week,
time.
Ron will be here.
Put my picture back up one more time.
So Nikki says to us, Lore
Deuces.
Lore spoils nothing in this show.
Okay, good.
Wait.
Well,
We
go
can
on.
come back and I'll disagree with that in a way.
No, go on.
Well, no, because I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Oh, why did she say something that
No, for my example,
would be a spoiler?
yes.
We'll come
But
up with a
anyway, it's just
non-spoilery
this one
example.
thing. So, but yes, I do what she said. Lore spoils nothing in the show. It does not follow lore. It doesn't even own the rights to follow lore.
That's fair.
That's fair. So
agree
yes,
with
I
that,
think
yeah.
they are. Yes, they're making up their own kind of thing that fits inside of the lore somewhat.
Right.
I don't think they want to go around changing it too much because you'll just make too many people angry and lose your audience
Right.
eventually.
Okay, so what I got next is Harfoots stay true to each other. Was that little speech that the dude
Very
gave.
hobbitish thing to say.
Right.
Right.
Nori and friends are going after the stranger, and they end up taking.
Their very own the little group of 4 hobbits.
Interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Their
Yeah,
own little
they're going on a
fellowship.
little mission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it's something that's not normally thought of too. This because nobody walks alone, and nobody goes off trail, and nobody walks alone.
right.
Right.
Okay. The queen is sailing blind back to Numenor. That reminded me of Arya in like season 4 of Game of Thrones. Like the end of it, when she was on the boat.
So there's no way she goes back and is still in charge of everything.
At Numenor?
Yeah. I mean, technically she should be, but
Why did she act like Numenor was gone? She's like, Numenor will be back. Or is she meaning they're going to return?
they're going to return. That's what I thought. I took
Okay.
it. That's how I.
Because I was like, wait, did something happen in Numenor? No, that was just a dream. Like, we saw that with Mordor. We didn't see that with Numenor. Was that what she was seeing?
What?
That vision of Numenor being flooded. Was she seeing what happened to Mount Doom in Mordor?
She's seeing a potential
flooding?
future for Numenor.
But the flooding that she was seeing, isn't that literally what they did to make Mount Doom explode?
Yeah, they dug all the tunnels and made the water go there. Like it was like it wasn't.
Oh,
like a
that
flood.
was part
This
of
whole,
it.
Like the flooding it was destroying Numenor.
I was just thinking she was getting a glimpse of the future,
Right.
but of somewhere else. But so you think something's still going to happen in Numenor? You think
I'm
that's
thinking.
gonna...
What I'm saying about her is like she's not. She's going to go back to. These people have usurped her.
Oh, when she returns,
When
you
she
don't think there's
returns.
going to be anybody? They're not going to be buying into her shit anymore because she left with the elves.
She left with the elves
I
to go
see.
defend the elves. So like
Okay.
that was already a point of contention before she left, and like now she's gone, she can't really defend her point, and now like she took all the believers basically with her. So the people left on Numenor are all the people who don't like elves.
Right.
They don't want nothing to do with them.
So can you help me clarify? Mordor is the entire Southlands?
Seemingly.
Okay. So they said Halbrand did survive. They found him on the road like this. Convenient.
Right. Yeah, super convenient. Yeah. It's again, it's almost to a point of red herrings, but then by the end of this episode, you're like, "Oh, wait, do they really like trust us enough to do that?"
To do the red herring?
Right.
Like maybe it's just that heavy-handed.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it like if they're throwing these clues?
But I
at
bet
us
you
that,
there's
like,
people watching that have not put
no,
that together.
I'm telling you, there was people watching that by the end of this episode went, then you haven't been paying attention, or you don't know.
Oh,
anything of- or-
the
right.
the change name thing?
Right.
Dumb.
Dumb.
Theo gets to keep his sword and soldier title.
Okay.
But it was sunny again. I was very confused
They
by that.
left. They got outside of there.
Outside of the Southlands?
Outside of yes.
But he's the king of the Southlands. He didn't leave, right? Like,
Well,
aren't they
left,
still
like, just
in the
outside of the
Mordor?
destruction zone? Yeah.
So Mordor is contained to some part of the Southlands.
Mordor is, if you look,
Ooh.
yes, Mordor
Where-
has like a U, like that symbol was like the U of the mountains that are surround Mount Doom.
Where is Mordor in relation to the Shire?
Like the opposite end of the map.
But all on Middle Earth.
Yes.
Like east, west, north, south, do you know? I'm just curious.
If I'm guessing, this is.
Yeah,
this
I get
is
it. It's a
not
guess. We can
book
ask the
knowledge.
chat here. I bet somebody will have
Okay, so
already
I would
offered
say-
some info.
Mordor is like southeast. Shire is
Northwest. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hidden. Yeah.
Any chat stuff worth mentioning right now?
Nikki said, "Why they give him another sword? He lost the last one he had in like 5 minutes." Right. So.
After that, we go to Durin's wife, and she blames the dad and says, "One day they'll dig again." It's their Mithril. Like,
Yeah,
Do you feel like she's working him to
I
some
don't know.
degree?
Not working.
I get a
him.
vibe that she's like,
I don't know if they like had her act this certain way, but it seemed like a little. I don't know. What was it? Out of character? I guess not. Like to.
It
she
seemed
just
a little
to be just so
pushy.
selfish and pushy and greedy. But
right.
the dwarves did get greedy, man. They did. That's what happened.
Is it greed when they're trying to save their friends?
If they keep it all to themselves, it is.
If
They
who does?
keep digging and don't share it with everybody, it is.
Share. Wait, I'm confused.
The mithril.
If they
If they dig it up and don't use it to save the elves, then yeah.
Oh,
See,
okay.
yeah, that's another part of the stuff. That's
You were
like,
thinking that that's what they're going
not
to do?
part of the lore. Like I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Like, so the Mithril saving the elves and in
That's
the
not part of the
origin
lore, you said?
the origin of Mithril, the way they presented it to us was not
Okay.
something that was in the books or in
So-
anything that they. I think it was like appendices and like some other stuff that they actually bought the rights to. So, like I said, I don't really. I don't know if they should just be making all of this stuff up or where they pull this from. It's not that it's bad, but it's a point of contention.
I see. So we only got 2 scenes left here, really.
She was just supporting his ambition, is what Dre said. The Disa she was just supporting Durin's ambition.
But I don't feel like he felt ambitious. He just felt like the king was literally stopping him at every time he tried to do anything.
Yeah, his stopping his ambition.
So I guess that's ambition. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so the king tells them to reseal the mine and then tosses the leaf that was saved by the mithril down there, and it catches on fire and reveals a Balrog.
The Balrog of Morgoth.
So is that the same one that fought
Yes.
Gandalf?
Yes.
So it survives no matter what, until Gandalf at least.
Yes.
Okay. So is that like,
yeah, well,
do you think
the,
that's
I
like,
mean, like it's not a spoiler. You see the result of what the mines of Moria are in the Lord of the Rings movies.
explain to me because I don't remember.
When they go into the mines and they're running through and all the dwarves are dead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same place.
That's the mithril mine?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Moria. That's where Durin lives. They live. We get to see that city like alive. Like we see it
I see. Okay.
completely dead and decimated and things. So you see the end. You've already seen the end result of that. Yeah.
So
that's all
it's
due
the
to
end result of them chasing mithril?
Yes. Yes.
So the
exactly.
Balrog is what wiped out the dwarves, you're
Yes.
saying? Okay. So, and then we get the most heavy-handed thing of the entire episode.
The Balrog is a Maiar. Yes.
So that's like a
Durin's Bane.
Gandalf?
The thing is called Durin's Bane. The Balrog is one of its nicknames is Durin's Bane.
Okay, so he's going to be he's going to come in and play into messing with Durin. Presumably Durin is going to eventually take over.
Right. And right. He'd be probably the last one to rule.
Okay. So the last thing we get is the heavy-handed.
Is Durin the one that's in the coffin? Because they're in a dwarf's, like, in that scene in Lord of the Rings where they fight the
But
cave
we're
troll.
thousands of years later. You're saying it could have been
Thousands of years.
for Lord of the Rings?
No, though. Not now. Not from where we're at. We can't be thousands of years because Isildur's alive.
But Isildur only happened in that one scene, and then we time jumped again. We time jumped for thousands of years after the ring.
3,000 years. 3,000 years. Correct.
Yeah.
From Isildur till...
The
What are we talking
actual
about?
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, no, but Durin... That's... When they go into the mines of Moria, that happened back then. Or
Okay.
around the time that at the fall of Moria. We're going to see that in this show. I don't know if it's this season. It seems like they're kind of stacking up to it, but I don't know if I want that yet.
Right.
Some of this stuff I don't know if I want yet. Like you got 5 seasons or however long, 50 episodes. Like spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm down with
Right.
spreading it out for
Like
sure.
if like the last few episodes are where you're revealing who the flip Sauron is.
Right.
Yeah, then you did it right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
If you're waiting
You got
that
us
long,
guessing till the end who he was, and you finally reveal it, and we're all thrown back in our chairs from it. Then you did it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
If you reveal who Sauron is right now in this next episode, I will absolutely be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you throw it in our face and spell it out, literally spell
I
it
mean,
out.
the way
for
they
us.
did it with the Southlands, and then it disappeared, and it
was
says
dumb,
Mordor. That was
man.
so dumb.
And to me, it was like it was insulting. You know.
Yes, it was like,
It's like
yeah,
no,
duh.
I knew that last episode.
Clearly.
That was Mount
could
Doom.
not
I
have
knew
been
that.
more obvious.
I knew it was the eruption of Mount Doom. You just created the lands of Mordor. I knew that. So why are you giving me this other reveal at the end of this next episode? Like, I knew they
Yeah,
were
we
in
knew
Mordor.
that an episode ago, at
we
least.
knew that. So like, it's to me, it's like you don't trust your audience enough.
A little spoon feeding going on.
Yeah, I
here.
don't like that.
Not
I
a
don't
fan.
Not a fan.
Treat
of
me
that,
like I'm
especially-
intelligent enough to follow the plot.
To me, if he would have just said Mordor, we're gonna call it Mordor. would have been like, oh, that's cool. That would have been better than literally like, oh no, we're gonna spell it out.
I would have been
for
fine
everyone.
with it changing after he said Mordor, but he didn't even say it.
Nobody's gonna get this.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna get it if we don't literally spell it out on the screen. Like I'm talking as like the producers of the show.
We have to literally put it on the
literally
screen.
put it in words on the screen. It doesn't. To me, that didn't make sense. They told you that earlier in the season when she showed you what the symbol was,
Right.
what the plan was. They told you what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
People who were fans, even like I said, I just started skimming the surface of all of this Tolkien lore on
Right.
this Nerds of the Ring YouTube channel,
Right.
And I knew that. Like I knew. I don't know that I wouldn't. I would have known that had I not known that. I would have put that together.
Yeah.
Without knowing any of the stuff. To me it was already spelled out. You didn't need to
was.
spell it out again.
It's better subtle.
Yes.
What else? What do we got in the chat here before we wrap this up?
Jay
Anything?
Wackers. She said, I will be so disappointed. Like if they reveal the same thing, right? She said, I don't know why they had to use Balrog in the Second Age. Tolkien was very vague about the creatures of the deep, dark places of Middle. Yeah, he was very vague about it. Yes. Jesse's agreeing. She'll be disappointed.
But that thing, like you said, if he was called Durin's Bane, it has to be in this age, because Durin, son of Durin, I guess.
They could be Durin, right? I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly. Nikki could probably tell us exactly when the fall of Moria happens, and if I think we're totally going to see it. I think we're on the cusp. I'm telling you, in this time period in the show we're watching, we're on the cusp of Second to Third Age.
Right.
I think we're right there. You know,
well, we have to be
because
for
the
Isildur.
battle of the final alliance is the end of the Second Age, the battle of the last alliance between elves and men.
Do you think we see that in this series?
If it is, it would be the end of it,
I would think.
right?
Yeah. I mean,
I would love to see a more drawn out. That was a prologue in the movies.
Right.
I would love to see a more drawn out, but I don't know that they have the rights to do that.
exactly.
You know,
Who the hell knows?
so we'll see.
So
They
next
got me
week is the
interested.
finale.
I'm a fan of the show.
Dude, if
Do I agree and disagree with some of the things that they've done in the show? Could it have been a little more? The movies are so action packed, intended to be so. They're
Right.
like they're action. Like there's not a lot of, but they're movies, so they have to
Right.
be. You know, this I get is a more long form story.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
I wanted a little bit more of a pace pickup. I feel like last episode was like that was exactly what I was looking for. The
Right.
eruption of Mount Doom, like that was like a great. the
We
battle,
progressed. We
it was
moved
a small
forward.
scale battle, but it still felt like it
Right. Mm-hmm.
epic and like they you know like move forward. I'm curious to see how they close it out. That'll give you a good close us out on a good note. Give us some cliffhangers to talk about. Give us a lot
Yeah.
to discuss and look forward.
Which is
to
why they do not
in the
need to wrap
coming
up
season.
2 or 3 of these.
That's what I'm
things.
saying. Like long form.
Leave it.
Like leave it. Don't.
You know damn well you're getting all 50
Do
episodes.
you hear me, Bezos? Do you hear me, Amazon? Look at here. I'm looking at my camera now.
It's Prime
You hear
Day,
me?
so hit them.
It's Prime Day. Bezos. We do not need to know who Sauron is right now
Or Gandalf.
or Gandalf. Tell us later. Keep us guessing. We're guessing right now. This is exactly what we're doing. We're discussing it every single week.
And we'll be waiting the entire time between season 1 and 2 doing the same
Doing the
thing.
same exact thing.
So please don't give us all the answers.
Don't give us all the answers right away.
We're not idiots.
And no more spelling it out for us on the screen. I'm sorry, producers, guys. That was a mistake. Everybody knew.
I do miss that in House of the Dragon, like the way they did that
No,
in the first
putting it up and
episode of Game
telling-
of the Thrones.
That's
that
not what
was
this
I
was.
liked that.
That's not what this was.
No, that was not what this
To me,
is.
I love. Yes, they should have done
In the
that. I think
first
the first
episode.
time the first time we visit a
Anywhere.
place,
Yep.
put it up on the screen. Never
Say
do
where
it again.
is. Never do it again.
Right.
Yep.
I like that. This show don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no more-
We
No more
we
dissolve
know.
wipes
We're paying
and
attention.
then
We're watching. We're enjoying your show. We're deep diving. We're analyzing it. We're talking about it. After it airs, we're having discussions.
even if you're not,
throughout
let
the
somebody
week.
discover it's Mordor when they figure
you
it
didn't
out.
need to do that. I'm telling you, you didn't need
I
to do it.
agree. We'll be back next week to talk about the finale. If you enjoyed the show,
Yeah, final
do
thoughts.
the things that you're
things
supposed
we're
to
looking
do.
forward to. Again, we'll
We'll be back next week because
This is how to watch TV.
see you later.